5:32 on this Thursday morning here on the Voice of the Valley, KROX in Crookston, Minnesota on 1260 AM and 105.7 FM, as well as on 92.1 FM in Grand Forks and East Grand Forks. Bo Melby here, getting you through your early morning hours of your weekdays. And, let's kick off our Thursday with a look at our state and local news. Starting with our state headlines for this September 28th morning. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, or BCA, is investigating a use of force incident after a man was shot by a deputy Wednesday night in Granite Falls. According to a BCA Twitter post, the man is expected to survive. The Chippewa County Sheriff's Office says the suspect was armed and attempted to escape arrest by running into a nearby cemetery. He reportedly refused to obey deputies' commands before he was shot. No other details have been released. The death of a man found in a St. Cloud parking lot remains under investigation. Police say the body of a 68-year-old man from Rice was discovered Monday morning. Investigators say there were no signs of trauma and they do not suspect foul play. The man's name hasn't been released. One person is hospitalized in Duluth after a logging truck collided with a Canadian Pacific train Wednesday in St. Louis County. Deputies say there were logs all over the roadway and train tracks, and the injured semi-driver was outside the truck. The 57-year-old man from Two Harbors was conscious and breathing before he was taken to St. Luke's Hospital. No one on the train was hurt. The train had 2 engines and was pulling 3 loaded cars, but there was no derailment. 2 people are now charged in Aitkin County with third-degree murder for selling fentanyl to a man that led to an overdose. Police responded to a medical call June 18th of an unresponsive man in Malmo Township, where they attempted life-saving measures on the victim but were unsuccessful. 32-year-old Stephen Bochniak of Mora and 42-year-old Christina Crone of Hinckley were identified as suspected fentanyl dealers and taken into custody. There were 572 adverse health events reported in Minnesota hospitals and clinics from October 2021 to 2022, and 21 of them resulting in death. Rachel Jacola with the State Department of Health says the global workforce shortage continues to impact care, especially in hospitals. She says there are really high patient volumes that exceed the number of patient beds. A lot of that is due to workforce challenges and post-acute care settings, resulted in the inability of hospitals to discharge patients to the next setting of care. Prior to 2021, the overall number of adverse events had been stable. However, for the second year in a row, MDH observed a rise in the number of incidents. U.S. Senate Committee on Rules and Administration with oversight over federal elections is taking a serious look into precautions and guidelines for the use of artificial intelligence while running for office. Senator Amy Klobuchar says some of the risks to the public are already clear, and like any emerging technology, AI comes with significant risk and our laws need to keep up. Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon testified at Wednesday's hearing and says AI isn't a threat to democracy in and of itself, but an emerging escalation of existing threats. He told the committee, "We're talking about an old problem, namely election misinformation and disinformation can now be more easily be amplified." Simon says one danger could easily come from an innocent circumstance of AI not understanding the nuances of state-by-state election systems. 4 Minnesota schools are being recognized as some of America's healthiest schools by the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, a child health organization. Pine Island Elementary, Team Academy in Waseca, Brooklyn Center Early College Academy, and Rogers High School are the schools that made the cut for the 781 chosen. The award is given to schools that implement best practices in up to 9 topic areas based on criteria in the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, which follows advancement in the health and well-being of students, staff, and families. Well, proposed regulations on legal cannabis use in public are moving forward in St. Paul. An ordinance approved by the City Council Wednesday bans marijuana and tobacco smoking in city parks and within 25 feet of entrances, exits, and windows of public spaces and places of employment. Business owners and the director of St. Paul Parks and Recreation would be allowed to create designated smoking areas under the ordinance. Mayor Melvin Carter's spokesperson says he intends to sign it into law. And a new study from Scholaroo is naming Minnesota as the best state for millennials. The study ranks 7 different factors from each state: affordability, politics and social environment, employment, quality of life, health, personal finance, and safety. Minnesota ranked best in affordability and personal finance and snagged a top 10 spot in health. The study ranks the worst state for millennials as Alabama.